Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Kerry Mager, a professional speaker and autism self advocate. And I just wanted to jump on because today is the beginning of Autism Acceptance Month. April was proclaimed Autism Awareness Month in 1970 by the Autism Society of America. And since then, we have seen a lot of awareness. But what I like to say is that we need to turn autism awareness into autism acceptance. So I'm really excited about this month finally being here. I'm excited to jump on live with you guys because it's been a while since I've had the opportunity. We have been speaking all over the country. We have 36 talks within the month of April alone with a bunch of different government organizations, businesses, schools, for students, and then also teachers. So it's been some really, really busy times. But I also just wanted to tune in today to tell you a little bit about what's coming up in April because if you're around, I would love for you to potentially check out a few of our events. I'm actually going to be leaving a few helpful links in the description today. But one question I have for all of you guys also is, what would you like the world to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month? I posted on my Instagram page about 6 things I want people to know about autism for Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. And I think one of the big messages that I shared in that is that we need to educate around the spectrum because it is such a very, very wide spectrum. And I know all of her stories are a little bit different. So I would love to hear a little bit about what you would like the world to know about autism. Brian says Autism History Month. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. And then a Facebook user mentions wonderful. So maybe you were just educated about autism for the first time today via this live, which is also really, really great. So in the description of this video, I just wanted to highlight 3 different events that you might be able to take advantage of in April. One, ironically enough, is tomorrow. It is for World Autism Awareness Day, which was proclaimed by the United Nations in 2007, that April 2nd is World Autism Awareness Day, where we all start larger conversations around the topic of autism. And I got sponsored by Iron State Development to host a free autism training webinar for our families to enjoy. So I'll be sharing a little bit about the current climate of autism during that webinar, which is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is free for anybody to attend, and it will be happening via Zoom. So if you are interested in that, I include the registration link in the description of this video. So definitely check it out. I would love to see you potentially on there. And then for the rest of the month, we have so many different events, but we also have 2 other virtual opportunities I wanted to tell you a little bit about today. So the first opportunity is on April 18th. It is the Daniel Jordan Phil Foundation Adult Autism Summit. And one of the messages that we like to share in our community is that, autism doesn't end at the age of 18. And autistic children will become autistic adults, and we need to be ready for them. I was diagnosed with autism at 4. Today, I'm 35 and still am on the autism spectrum. And we need to have larger conversations about what life looks like after high school. So during this summit, you're going to hear from a wide range of people within our autism community. You're going to hear from myself on the current climate of autism. You're going to hear from Dr. Stephen Shore, who, if some of you have followed me on Facebook, will know that Dr. Stephen Shore was not speaking till he's 4 years old and now is a professor at Adelphi University. So I would definitely recommend seeing his session as well. And then also we're going to have a self-advocate panel in addition to hearing from a few endowment fund individuals from the Daniel Jordan Phillip Foundation, a nonprofit. And you're going to hear from some great universities and other programs that specifically focus on adult autism. So if you're looking for any adult autism resources, I would definitely recommend registering for that. That event will also be happening via Zoom. So definitely check that out as well. We have a few people coming in. Thank you so much for the wonderful comments. Marvy writes, "You're an inspiration." Marvy, I really appreciate that comment. Jane, thank you for your intelligent words. I'm very impressed with you. Thank you so much, Jane, for sharing about that. So while we're going during this live, just tell me a little bit about what you would like the world to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month, if you get the chance in the comments. So that event, the Daniel Jordan Phillip Foundation for Adult Autism Summit, again, will be happening on April 18th, so that Tuesday. It will be from 10:45 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the registration is free for educators. Sorry, I had a moment. Free for educators using an EDU email. It's $5 for autistic advocates, and then it's $10 for professionals. And one of the great things about this event is that anyone who attends this event gets the opportunity, even if they can't attend live, they will still get the opportunity to watch the recording at their leisure. So I'm including the registration link for that event in there as well in the description. And then the final event, which is free, because of the support of the Bayonne Library in my home state of New Jersey. We're going to be hosting a World Autism Month Matters Summit, where we're going to be talking about things such as how to succeed in K through 12. I'll be discussing a little bit about my autism journey in there. In addition to that, I'll also be hosting a self-advocacy panel. And then later in that day, I'll be hosting a summit, actually a webinar on how to help individuals who are autistic from childhood to adulthood. So really focus on those transitional years when a student receives a transition IEP when they're 14 or in some states 16 as well. And the description of and the registration link is in the description of this Facebook post as well. Just out of curiosity, for the people who are joining us today, will you be attending any of the three? I would love if you could tell me in the comments, because I think there are going to be some really educational events where if you're trying to gain some key resources in the community across the lifespan, I would definitely recommend checking out. So let me know if you plan on registering for any of the three. So along with that, one of the other things I'm also sharing in the description of this video for Autism Acceptance Month is I created a list of free autism resources for our community to take advantage of. So in the description, there is a little link that will send you, where if you just leave your name and email, I'll be more than happy to send you this list of free autism resources that I gathered together. Typically I receive about like 100, 125 emails a day from parents asking for help and supports and resources. And don't get me wrong, I 100% understand where they're coming from when they have those questions, because, that's what my parents dealt with. When I was growing up, we were desperately looking for resources. So I left that in there as well. In addition, if any of you are interested in reading any books about autism, for those who are new to our page, my name is Dr. Kerry Magro, and over the past 10 years, I've written 4 books about my autism journey. The first book is called Defining Autism from the Heart. I wrote it when I was 25 years old. It was a compilation of poems and essays I wrote when I was trying to become a self-advocate and tell people about my autism journey for the first time. Because typically people come up to me and they say, Kerry, you have autism, but you don't look like you have autism. The second book, Autism and Falling in Love, focuses on relationships for those on the autism spectrum. This children's book you'll see right behind me, I Will Lay It Up Blue, focuses on twins who are on the autism spectrum, who learn about an initiative that changes their life forever. This coincides with the initiative Lay It Up Blue, which will be happening tomorrow on World Autism Awareness Day. I had a great comment come in from a mom who said that she read the book at her child's school on Friday to kick off the month of April. And that was really, really sweet. So I appreciated that comment as well. And then finally, our latest book, Autistics on Autism, which some of you may have read. If you have read it, definitely let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your opinion about that book. That came out just almost actually just a year ago on Thursday. And this book focuses on 100 autistic adults' journeys on what helped them growing up on the autism spectrum and what they are currently doing today in their careers, with 100% of the proceeds going back to our autism scholarship program. Just because I see a little lag in my internet connection, can somebody write in the comments and just tell me if you can hear me okay? I really appreciate that as well. You gotta love technology sometimes, am I right? In addition to that, please tell me a little bit about what you would like the world to know a little bit about autism. I really love to hear. So we have this great comment came in from a Facebook user. Autism is a three-dimensional spectrum with tremendous diversity across the spectrum. Never underestimate the complexities of ASD in each affected individual. Keep up the good work, Carrie. Well, thank you so much for that comment. I would love to know a little bit more about what you mean by three-dimensional spectrum, just to give people a little bit of a sense of what that looks like, because we often talk about it being a spectrum, and there's three different levels. So when people in my community talk about three different levels, we're talking about the three dimensions. So I'm just curious if that's what you refer from that statement. We have a comment from Trina. Hey, Trina. Trina writes that the autism you're experiencing is not the whole spectrum. My son could speak some words, but lost all speech at 2 years. He's now 29 now, and has some verbal speech, but not communicating at your level at all. Yeah, Trina, I 100% agree. And that's why at the beginning of this video, I emphasize the spectrum, because there are individuals within our community who are going to need 24/7 care for the rest of their lives. And that is why when I advocate, one of the statements I typically say is that we need to provide reliable autism resources across the lifespan for the spectrum. Because so many people, I still feel like, think the popular image of autism is with children. And your child is now an adult, is 29 now. And I feel like a lot of the times when the school bus stops coming, we lose out on those supports. So Trina, I would love to hear if you are actually going to attend our adult summit, because I would love to know a little bit about some of the resources we might be able to provide for you as part of you registering for that. Hey, we have Fan from the Philippines. All the love. Thanks, Fan. Fan, if you just joined us, definitely look at the description. We're sharing a few links of things that you can potentially go to this month. Jonathan writes, dude, you're amazing. Jonathan, respect. Thank you so much. Monica writes, hi from Dallas. Monica, I was in Dallas quite recently. Ironically enough, I get a lot of speaking inquiries in the Texas area. So some in Houston, some in Dallas. But yeah, we were also in El Paso at ESC Region 19 twice now. So Texas has been really good to us in terms of educating people a little bit more about autism. Thank you so much for saying you could hear me loud and clear as well. So Trina writes, I'm interested in that adult summit if it pertains to our son's current situation. Yeah, Trina, I think the most important thing about the summit is that there's going to be several Q&A periods where there are some leading experts in the field of adult autism, where if you have any specific questions, it would definitely be a great forum for you to attend to learn a little bit more from the perspectives of some of the individuals who have these jobs for a full time profession. So hopefully that will be helpful. In addition, we'll have several self advocates who will be sharing a little bit more about adult autism as well. So in addition to that, so along the way, one of the comments that came in, which I found really interesting, was from Brian, and he says Autism History Month. And I just did a blog recently on 36 things people need to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month. And I was looking up all these different things about Leo Kanner in the 40s, diagnosing autism for the first time, and then Hans Asperger's and the debate about him being a Nazi and Asperger's syndrome and the whole development over time. And the funny thing is, any single time somebody mentions Autism History Month or just the history of autism, I just go back to neurotribes. I don't know. Please tell me in the comments if you read this book. It's from a dear friend. His name is Steve Silberman. And he wrote a book about the history of autism. And it was so great. It's Neurotribes. It's on Amazon. In addition to my 4 books, which I mentioned earlier today, all on Amazon. So definitely check them out. And for people who are just joining us, my name is Dr. Carrie Magro. I'm a professional speaker and autistic self-advocate. I would love if you would give this video a like in addition to a share, because today it's also Autism Acceptance Month. So hopefully people will get to see this video who might not even have a personal connection to learn a little bit more about autism and get the education out there. So we have a bunch of comments coming in. Alexandra writes, my daughter is 2 in May and on the autism pathway. We have communication and we are really struggling with trying to understand her. Yeah, Alexandra, I would definitely recommend joining us for our webinar tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time, because I will have, I know for certain I will have at least 2 slides that will focus on non-speaking communication and ways of helping to encourage communication. So would definitely recommend checking that out. Karen writes, hey Karen, hello from Dacula, Georgia. I would like to share that every day is different with autism in our home. As a parent, you just have to remember to breathe and still show love, regardless of how your day is going. Yeah, Karen, that's so true. I mean, there are some days that are going to be incredibly positive. There are going to be days that are going to be rather challenging. But at the end of the day, you just keep going with love at the end of the day. I like to say that autism doesn't come with an instruction guide. It comes with a family who will never give up. So we have a few more comments coming in. Jonathan writes, it means the world to me in my life for being diagnosed with autism at 8 after I went to my old school on 17th Street. So again, everyone, what would you like the world to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month? Tell us a little bit about that in the comments. So Faline writes, Faline, my son is 10 going on 11 and I'm still trying to understand him. You are not alone. Yeah, Faline, one of the things that I talk about a lot when it comes to the autism world is that the goal is communication, not speech. In addition to that, We just have to meet our kids where they are. I know that depending where your son is on the autism spectrum, whether it's level one, level two, level three, it could look vastly different compared to the next person. But I just hope for the best for you and your son. And thank you for following my journey. And I love your follow-up question. Any info on over opinionated autistic 10-year-olds? Uh, so I would be curious, like opinionated in terms of focused on laser focused key interest for long periods of time and how to get that communication out there to another source, or trying to switch the subject and help with transitions and what that looks like. Sidra wrote, "Hey Sidra, Sidra, I think is actually attending our webinar tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Sidra, I'm not putting you on the spot. I think you just mentioned that in a email I think you sent me, or could it have been another Sidra? At what age do autistic children start speaking? Uh, Typically a year later than their, again, it is a spectrum, so it's not everyone, but on average, it's typically a year after most non-disabled children are. But again, it is a spectrum. You should have some form of babbling by 6 months, and then being able to have one word at 18 months. Those are typically the two areas. Oh, Sidra says, yes, I am. Great, Sidra. We will see you tomorrow. Again, the question is, what would you like the world to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month? And we have a comment from Eric. Eric writes, I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. The autism community needs to be more accessible and loved. Yeah, I agree, Eric. Accessibility, especially when it comes to sensory, I feel like it's a big area of need. More reasonable accommodations in our schools, but also in our workplaces, and then just more overall understanding and education training. Sirik writes, my son has speech regressions, how to help him. It's no one size fits all, Sirik, but I would definitely try to figure out what were some of the triggers that led to the regression. And then definitely trying to figure out what potentially could be some avenues, if it's speech therapy, if it's other ways of looking at educational resources. I would also definitely recommend grabbing our free autism resources list, which is in the description as well. Hey, AO. AO writes, my son is 7 and nonverbal. I'm worried if he's ever going to talk. Any advice, please? Yeah, AO, one of the things that I continue to push is that the goal is communication, not speech. So I would definitely recommend looking at other areas, especially if your son's completely nonverbal, is not babbling or making any noises at all. Then I would definitely recommend American Sign Language as a potential avenue, especially if your son's a kinetic learner, meaning that he likes to get up and move around to learn, or looking at assistive technology such as Proloquo to Go, different text-to-speech devices too. And again, the question is, what would you like the world to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month? And again, feel free to like this video and then also share to get the word out, because today is April and Autism Acceptance Month. Priscilla writes, do you believe that autism is something that one can overcome? No. Autism is a lifelong diagnosis. People typically come up to me and they say, Carrie, how are you able to cure yourself of your autism? And I'll have autism every single day for the rest of my life. But because of love and the supports, I was able to overcome many of my challenges. Still today, I deal with challenges with stimming, which is self-regulatory behavior, rubbing my hands together, sometimes having difficulty understanding others' perspectives as well. And again, what would you like the world to know about autism for Autism Acceptance Month? Eric wrote, "We individuals with autism can make a difference within this world." Yeah, Eric, 100%. Trina writes, "Opinion is communication, listen and question." I love that. Marilyn writes, "If a non-speaking autistic child, is it recommend to put him on a regular normal school or a special school?" Yeah, Marilyn, there's no one size fits all when it comes to this. I would definitely recommend, if your child is going to school right now, if there's a local CPAC, which is a Special Education Parent Advisory Council, which could give you a little sense of other students who are potentially in that school who are non-speaking and what services are being provided to them. If there's no CPAC available, looking at PTA, looking at parent potential Facebook parent groups that are associated with the school district that you're based in, really just do your research, because it's no one size fits all. Jonathan writes, "As an adult, what are some of the challenges you face as a person with autism?" Yeah, Jonathan, the biggest couple of things are stimming. I still do a little bit of stimming. Sometimes not being able to understand the perspectives of others. In addition to that, sometimes having challenges when we're talking about employment, not necessarily myself, but we still have a huge unemployment rate in the United States. Unfortunately, today, we have about 75% of up to 50 to 75% of all autistic adults in the United States are either unemployed or underemployed. So I think that's one area in need. We need more post-secondary programming to help understand how autistic college students learn. We need more housing opportunities as well. It's a very, very wide spectrum. Yvette writes, "Hey, Yvette, Carrie, you're so inspiring." Yvette, I appreciate the comment. It's very, very sweet. "He feels sometimes like he isn't smart, but he is so smart and kind and beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story and being an advocate." Thank you so much, Yvette. Yvette, I hope that you'll be able to come to some of our upcoming events in April. Trina writes, "I'd suggest RPM on a letterboard, and this is for the family who are also focused on non-speaking autism as well." All right, everyone. I just wanted to jump on for a few minutes. I had a few minutes, and for the start of April, I just wanted to come say hi to all you guys. Welcome all the new followers to our Facebook page. We just hit 229,000 Facebook followers. So I appreciate you following my autism journey. Feel free to hit that like button and also share if you learned something new, but also to spread the word, because this month is Autism Acceptance Month. And we need to do more justice for the over 70 million worldwide who have autism. So if you have a chance, want to be educated a little bit more, definitely recommend going to the subscription where we have 3 events that you could register for and attend in April. You could also check out all 4 of my books that are on Amazon if you want to read something new for the month, in addition to a list of free autism resources for you to take advantage of as well. So thank you all so much. And I'll leave on this one last note, because I love Michelle. Michelle just wrote, "Hi, Carrie, it's Michelle. I was on your Autistic Self Advocates podcast years ago. Last year in October, I graduated with my bachelor's degree from Purdue University Global. Today, I work many jobs." Michelle, congratulations. And to all of you, thank you for joining. Have a great rest of your weekend.